after a long day. In communications, I am told never begin with an apology. So that's why I'm trying to delay as much as I can before I apologize. It's really very kind of you. The comment that our MC was making just now, I didn't realize how many persons have joined the business because they attended one of the BOP or COP, one of the career presentation sessions. I'm usually invited by the company to become a third-party witness, or like a person called to the court, like an expert witness. The expert witness is not for the prosecution. The expert witness is not for the defense. It is for the judge. And I told them that they are the judge. I will give to them an even-handed presentation and let them make up their mind. And I discovered that literally hundreds, if not thousands, have come into this business. And I didn't know that that is my latest reputation, okay? That I have helped to talk to people to come into this business. Research has shown that birthdays are very good for your health. Did you know that? The more birthdays you have, the longer you live. Okay, so... okay, let me see if I can get this going. Oops, did I end it on it or not? Maybe I did that. Okay. Here's the promise. And this promise I've heard 30 over years ago. Honestly, when I first heard it, in the life insurance industry, I thought it was a hyperbole. It's a little bit of an exaggeration just to make it very attractive. I think some of you have seen this as well. You can get what you want to get. You can earn what you dream of. You can become what you want to become. And I thought, that's very nice. That's very nice. Don't you think so? But you ask the people in the front row as well as many others in between, this has become true. We are not telling lies. We are not just trying to pump something to motivate you. This business allows this sort of thing. You can get what you want to get. You can earn what you dream of. The dangerous thing is that you can become very satisfied with a low level of income. Okay? I usually meet the top people, the top 20%, right? And it's really exciting to meet them, and they are here with us today, for example. But there are many others who are very contented with 25,000 a year, 40,000 a year, right? But is that what you really want? So that's the question we ask, okay? This is the promise. So, is this what you really want? Now, if this is what you want, then this is what you do, okay? So, there's very few things that are new. If this is what you want, this is what you do. Very few things have changed. Let me use an illustration. If you want to be hit by lightning, do you know where to stand? Okay? All right? Some of you are parents, your children are teenagers, very hard to talk to them right now. But now you tell them this, if this is what you want, this is what you do. And if this is what you do, this is what you get. Okay? In fact, we can make it into a kind of a rap. If this is what you want, this is what you do. If this is what you do, this is what you get. Right? There isn't much variance. All through time, if this is what you want, this is what you do. The only exception was some pretty young ladies wearing swimsuit and high heels and never get wet at all. Because they are called models. Okay? But that's what they want. They just want to show off the latest swimming costumes, right or not? Otherwise, if this is what you want, this is what you do. And if this is what you do, this is what you get. I'm not saying that this is deterministic. I'm saying this is the result of research. We know. We know. Can you tell the person next to you? We know.
We know.
We know. That's why I have my book of 55 reasons. 55 reasons. The moment you buy your first policy, we know what you're going to buy next. Really? Yeah. It's one of the 54 reasons. Fair enough? Okay? We know. We know. Amazon will always say, we know. We know. If you buy this book, we know what's the next book you're going to buy. Because most people who buy book A will buy book B and book C. Don't you think so? Okay? We know. We're not boastful, we're not arrogant. We just know. We know this will happen. Okay? Can I just check something with you all here? Your very first insurance policy. Do you remember buying your first insurance policy? There are a few of you here who haven't bought your first policy yet. But let's assume you bought your first policy. Fair enough? Very first policy. How many of you, your very first policy, you bought before 9 o'clock in the morning? Somewhere at 7 or 8, before 9 o'clock, you bought your policy. Amazing. Amazing. Very few people, you're one of the exceptions, seriously. Okay? Right? You look at this, right? How many of you bought between 9 a.m. and 12 noon? 9 a.m. and 12 noon. Okay. But it just still goes to show, right? How many of you bought between 12 noon and 6 p.m.? 12 noon and 6 p.m. We're getting a few more hands coming up. I think the rest of you bought after 6 p.m. There's almost a law in Malaysia, just like in Singapore. If the sun is not overhead, you cannot sell. Do you know why people don't buy? Because people don't sell. 30 over years I've been involved with this industry. I try to persuade people to say, go out and have breakfast with somebody at 7. Breakfast with somebody at 8. Because I read MDRT people. 10 o'clock they're going to office, they already have 2 apps. 2 application forms with payment. But they don't understand Malaysia and Singapore. If the sun doesn't go right over here, if this is what you want, this is what you do. If this is what you do, this is what you get. Then you compare what you want with what you get, and it should be the same thing. It should be the same thing. If it's not the same thing, then you either change what you want or you change what you do. If you want to do 100 cases, we know. If you want to do big cases, we know. People buy. Why people won't buy? Same 20 over objections. In all these years, I have yet to hear a new objection. I like to say, somebody didn't want to buy after you make a presentation? No. What did the person say? Same 20 over. But why people buy? There are new reasons. There are many more reasons than in my book. I'm talking about my books because there's none available for sale. So too bad, okay? But never mind, okay? Right? So somebody once challenged me, is there a new one that's not in the book? I said, yeah. Do you want to cooperate with me? Okay, let me share with you one that has come up in the last 10 years. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, you can do this to your friends. You can do this to your client. All of us have 2 parents, one father, one mother, correct? Correct. Do you know the name of your father and mother? The answer is yes. If you cannot remember, take out your birth certificate and it will be very helpful. You will know the name of your father and you will know the name of your mother, but that's not my point. In turn, all of us have 4 grandparents, is that correct? 4 grandparents, 2 grandfathers and 2 grandmothers. Do you know the name of all 4? Yes. No, you do not know grandma's name. I thought grandma's name is grandma. All our life we call her grandma and she, yeah, you see. Grandma has a name. Grandma has a name, but that's not my point. In turn, we have 8 great-grandparents. Listen carefully. 8. Do you know the name of any one of the 8? Yes. Do you know why you do not know their name? Because they didn't leave any money behind for you. If your great-grandfather left $100,000 for you, it would be $1 million today. $1 million today, don't you think so? But that's not my point. You have children. Will your children know your name? Of course. We have a Malaysian Singapore expression, tight slap. You know what I mean? Tight slap. I don't know how you do a loose slap. How you do a tight slap. But when I hear somebody say tight slap, must be from Malaysia or Singapore. No other country has a tight slap. Would your grandchildren know your name? Good chance. Now you want to be sure your great-grandchild know your name. You buy a policy, a small policy, 25,000. By the time it's 21, it'll be 1 million. I mean, you want people want to buy plenty of reasons. People don't want to buy Same lousy reasons. Fair enough? Okay? So, if this is what you want, this is what you do. If this is what you do, this is what you get. In this business, very hard to hide. Supposing I would ask you, today is January the 1st. For the rest of the year, how many cases would you want to close? You can put up your hand for any number. But by halfway through the year, I roughly can guess, what do you really want? Really, really want? How many people do you want to help? How many people do you want to arrange for them? Okay? Yesterday, I just did a recruitment for one of the companies in Singapore. That's why I couldn't come up here last night. Otherwise, I'd like to congratulate all the winners. Okay? So, because they haven't passed any exam and all the rest, it's a bit difficult to mention the word insurance. So we try not to mention the word insurance. So I told them, look, I'm going to give you just one question only. If you can handle this question, good chance you can succeed in this business. But if you cannot handle this question, then I will recommend another job for you. Okay? All right? And this is the question. First 5 words. If something happens to you. If something happens to you. You can try that. Try it with the person next to you. If something happens to you. We're not saying it will happen, but we're just saying if something happens to you. Okay? Would you want, and let's say we mention your company's name, XYZ. Okay? Would you want XYZ to give your family a check of 20,000 or 200,000? Okay? You can try this. In fact, I promise them, if you can do this 20 times a day, I will predict your income is 100,000 a year. And you only do 5 days a week, Saturday, Sunday off, don't you think so? And say, if something happens to you, would you want XYZ company to give your family a check of 20,000 or 200,000? What do you think is the typical answer if you ask it in your neighborhood or among your friends or people? 200,000. 200,000. And I look at some of you, you're too young to deal with 200,000. Who are you to offer 200,000? Do you know what's 200,000? If we give $10 notes and you stack it up, you know how high it is? Of course, nobody will do that, but just for imagination. We just said 200,000 like nothing. In Singapore, they tell me 200,000, they'll say 2 million. So what business are you in? Your mother asks you, what business did you get into? Golden mouth. Golden mouth. I open my mouth, 200,000. $500,000. 2 million. Now let me explain this. What makes your business unique? Before the event and after event, totally different interpretation. Before the event, what will they say? Why does my widow need 200,000 for? I mean, if I die, she gets 200,000, all the single men will come and chase after her. But you and I know when that event happens, 200,000 doesn't last long. 200,000 at 50,000 a year will only last 4 years. 200,000 at 40,000 a year will only last 5 years. It doesn't last long. And that's why your persuasion, your sincerity, your motivation is very important. Because before that, it looks like, you're asking me because you want to make a lot of money, right? No, we have to make sure that you have enough money. That people continue the kind of lifestyle they're accustomed to. They like to stay in the same home, don't you think so? They like to go to the same market, they like to take the same bus and the same bus driver and the same bus stop or whatever it is. Okay. So you know what business you're in? Golden Mouth. Okay. But only in Malaysia you all will cooperate with me. In Singapore they won't cooperate with me. You know what business you're in? Roof over the head. Clothes on the body. Food on the table. Education for the future. Can you do it? Let's try to do it together. It's only late. Are you ready? 4 things. What do you do every day? What's your business? Roof over the head. Clothes on the body. Food on the table. Education for the future. Ta-da! you explain to your neighbor. Your neighbor was very happy with you. They know that you went to university, you're going to graduate as an engineer, and then suddenly they see you carry the bag that has your company's name. And then they pull the curtains, you know. Every time you pass by, they say, shh, nobody at home, nobody at home, nobody at home, don't think so. So what do I suggest to you? Talk to your neighbors. Do you know why? I predict you're going to do well, and you're going to move out of that neighborhood. You want to sell them, you're going to take a long way back. Okay, now while the next door, knock on the door and say, roof over the table, clothes on the body, food on the table, education for the future. What do you do every day? That's what I do. Provide roof over the head, clothes on the body, food on the table, education for the future. The last part is the clincher, education for the future. Right? Okay. If this is what you want, this is what you do. Don't need to be shy about it. If this is what you do, this is what your work is all about. That's a wonderful kind of work. You're a highly paid social work.